everyone, and welcome back to Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai with the Scramble for the Far East mod. As we can see, we've got new troubles on our horizon, and with that I want to talk about something different. Namely, that it was quite a mistake to actually pick the legendary difficulty for this campaign. So far I've been really focusing in on sort of winning the campaign in the best possible way, and I have really foregone what I think is kind of a little bit at least of my specialty, and that is the kind of roleplay way in which I play most of these campaigns, where I, constantly keep naming the generals to make sure that that, like, this army is commanded by this guy, and I've specifically only put, like, extra Italian troops into this one, and we're calling it the Italian army. We're moving along this campaign, this route, and so on. And given the difficulty and the fact that literally everyone, more or less, everyone we're at border with, plus people from from the other side of Japan is declaring war on us, has left me kind of dealing with the winning the game part, and not so much about, and there is definitely opportunities within this. Now, that's not the great town, but you have possibilities of creating a lot of different, like, armies here. We've got lots of different Hanoverian, Brunswick, Württemberg, Hessian, and so on, and Jaeger troops and whatnot. So we could do a lot of that, and it does have like a fleshed out family council with generals and all that kind of stuff. But so far I have not been able to focus on that, kind of just because of the difficulty. With that said, let's go ahead and get back to it, because the Americans have conquered northern Shinano, and with that, almost immediately, they declared war on me. And as you can see, they're sending 2 full stacks. Now, luckily for me, the first one I think is going to be quite easy to defeat. It seems to be mostly cavalry coming down from that one. Let's see who we have here, and right. So I can gather my generals, my 2 generals. We've got Gunther von, we'll call him Schwarzenberg, although it's Schwarzwallenberg, von Schwarz. Gunther von Schwarz, easy to say. Brigadier General Gunther Schwarz. And then we have Ralph Ellenberg. Sue Ellenberg. Does that mean that the faction leader, Friedrich Albert, would be Ellenberg as well? Right. And he's currently on his way, so hopefully he gets here so we can meet the Americans. We definitely don't want to end up in a situation where we're constantly ending up defending our own territory, because then we'll surely be defeated, since we've got so many enemies. So we got Americans marching through here, so that's going to be a problem. Not only that, as I took this, very quickly the Obama clan and the Yodo clan declared war on me. So we've got Obama coming down here. Luckily for me, it's like all cavalry armies. I don't know why, but it seems like the AI likes to recruit those, which are horrible in siege, and I should be able to quite easily hold them off right here. I'm currently gathering up quite a bit of money so that I can actually upgrade the barracks in this, so we can get an infantry school going here, which means that I can get colonial infantry that eventually will get, as we upgrade the ironworks, will be able to get higher accuracy for the troops recruited there, which will be really good. Anyways, so the Friedrich Albert, or Albert Friedrich. It's interesting, they do it the same way that like the Japanese do, when they put the last name first and, you know, your real name, or your real name, but your surname, or which one is it? I can't remember. Like your everyday name, like Friedrich Albert. They put that last when they put the your last name. We're gonna move him. I found that this works really well, like the moving forces around with your ships. It works really well, and I can get a lot of troops onto the ground really quickly. Now, obviously, holding up in the castle would do quite well to weather the troops here, but I feel as though we could probably defeat this one in a land fight and then take this one on right after. This one looks like it's pretty haggard. It's lost a lot of manpower. I can have maybe I can have my geisha go ahead and distract that one. That's expensive as hell. Where's my spy? He's all the way over here. Why did I want to send him down here? Even if we spy out what's down here, we're not going that way anyways. I'm thinking we're gonna go up north, and I had plans, of course, of landing troops, but I think the easiest ones is first just to march to Fukushima. A little bit of a problem with attacking Fukushima as the first one, or first target, is that by taking Fukushima, we kind of block off the Northern Alliance territory, and so they will always come down this way to attack. If I go up to this one, I feel as though the AI is gonna go around, continuously kind of go around us. But it will split off their area, and the Northern Alliance is likely to lose Hitachi. So that could be something for us. Anyways, the spy is on his way there, and I'm thinking we're gonna risk it. I think we're gonna risk it and try and do a land battle against the Americans. What I could do is, I think the Americans might be marching right towards us, so we can move the force into the woods and set up an ambush battle, and to make sure that we get chevrons for all our generals. Let's make sure that we put all the troops in the woods here. Oh, he lost one of his cavalry. Ralph lost one of his cavalry units. Or did I misplace it? Anyways, I've set up for an ambush. So we'll ambush the American army, and we'll see how well we do through that. We also have the ship right here, so we'll get support from that. Eventually, I think we will go ahead and see about buying one of the bigger ships. One of these with 26 guns, so we can really rule the waves. But for now, we've got 9,000. The thing is, I can build the barracks down here, which is gonna make it easier for me to defend kind of this area by being able to recruit new troops in this area. But at the same time, I can use that 9,000 to flesh out another army, so we could have 2 armies and more cannons and stuff like that as well. But the safer option would be to build out the infrastructure here. Oh yes, completely missed this part right here. The Kanazawa clan that we were at war with, that held at one point like all these territories right here. After I took this, I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna pursue up into the mountains here, go after their last holdout there. And they offered peace. I decided to tag on, you become my vassal in part of this peace treaty, as well as trade, and they accepted. I was quite surprised when they did that. And so currently they are my vassal. They're not doing too well. Well, they are doing pretty well. They've seen off one of the forces of Gunshu Shiman clan that is coming up from the south. There's yet another force though, so very likely that my short-lived vassal is gonna fall to the enemy. But otherwise that's a pretty nice buffer zone. With that said, let's see if we can't have our ambush battle come to fruition. The enemy made one attempt at the castle at Fukui. And then they sent their larger force to lay siege to it. Currently, we are able to hold out for 2 turns until we are forced to surrender, which is not great. We can bring in some units of reinforcements all the way from up here. But unfortunately the main army is still here, ready for an ambush. So it's gonna be interesting then. I mean, most of this army seem to be cavalry, which wouldn't be that difficult to destroy with the army I've got here. But it would still definitely be difficult. And it would be nice if I could get extra troops, and we're sending over 1 infantry unit marching over, hopefully gonna take part in aiding here. So oh, they've got tons of artillery. Cavalry should be doable. Cannons a little bit harder. The key to this battle will be to neutralize the enemy cavalry by taking them out with these stakes. And we're gonna place a load of them. The enemy cavalry is making their approach. They've sent 1 unit to deal with what you might say are my expendable units. Meanwhile, the proper lines are readying behind the line of stakes. Currently, it actually looks pretty good here, in the terms that we are holding off this cavalry unit right here. But in the long run, these troops up here have no hope in defeating the enemy. However, going through 5 lines of spikes and then on to my line infantry will be a whole different matter for the enemy, which are currently charging headlong into the troops that I marked as expendable. We actually do have an enemy unit coming right up the flank there. And we do have some cannon shots coming in, right. They just set down the spikes, move to the back. And all the expendable troops have fallen. I'm gonna order the mortars to retreat. And we've got the reinforcement unit now retreating behind the spikes and the rest of the line infantry. We can see the cavalry just being eaten up going through all these spikes. But even with that, there's a lot of them
And they're all coming at once. I'm gonna do suppression fire, because that's gonna allow us to put down as much fire as possible, if it is that they are able to break through. I'll have a last resort with this unit all the way here in the back. I mean, holy shit, they decided to push their entire cavalry army through the center of this and just eat up every single spike. They've used the Banzai ability to keep themselves from completely evaporating. However, they are kind of all over the place. I don't know what's going on. And our guys are, you know... Oh, the officer is dead. Our commander has died. But I bet so... No, theirs is still alive. But seemingly that's the only one of them that is still alive. We're gonna do suppression fire again. And their army was slaughtered. However, we lost a lot in this fight as well. I will move you towards this side so you can actually support and fire at the troops moving in here. The fight cost us a lot, but given the task we had ahead of us, are they going to sacrifice their general by riding onto the spikes? He's set to go right on a spike. And there goes the enemy general. And the rest of his stupid bodyguard. I will order these troops back. And then the enemy cavalry will then move into the fire of the reinforcement unit. And also as they move forward, they will too go straight into the spikes. It looks like the enemy decided to go and like specifically go on each and every single one of these spikes. We lost a lot, but they lost more. And that's the way we like it. This kind of, the way they fought here, I was hoping that I'd be able to hold the forts down here by just continuously seeing off enemy forces that were gonna die upon my castle, similar to what we did here. But it looks like we're gonna have to beef up the defenses quite a bit down here before we think about fighting anyone else or going on the attack, which is the main problem. And another problem why maybe I shouldn't have chosen legendary difficulty. But what I have left is to march up, get rid of the cannons, which seem to be rolling right up to me. So we'll be able to charge them, kill off them, and the battle is won. And at least for this turn, the castle stays safe. It ends up being a decisive victory where we destroy the enemy force. Still though, we lost 1,200 men. 1,200 good men that I could definitely use in the coming years of defending this castle right here. Yet another decisive defense of the castle, yet every time we keep losing soldiers. Oh, would you look at that? It was such a good defense that the commander in place has actually secured a promotion. We will surely promote him. Assassination! One of my subjects have been assassinated, and I'm pretty sure I know who. Trade agreement broken with France, yes. The French declared war on us. My geisha that was here was killed. And then we gained a general. Quite nice. We gained Kaufmann. Kaufmann August. August Kaufmann is how you would say it. And the Yoda and Obama armies actually retreat out of sight. They have decided not to pursue this area. For now, anyways. We need to bolster the defense as soon as we can. Now, I am building up to the point that hopefully I'll be able to build this infantry school. However, it's going to cost me 13,000. For that, I could get 13 infantry to be able to go there immediately and hold it. The problem is, right now the best location to recruit troops is up here. And there's no problem in sinking these traditional Japanese ships with our little sloop. However, an American fleet has turned up with 3 ships. This could very well sink our ship and put an end to us shipping troops from there. So in that regard, that's not great. Now I'm bringing up troops by land instead, which takes about 2 turns to get to Echigo. Currently the Americans are standing away, but after that I should be able, within 3 turns, march units down here, put them on a ship, and then ferry them to where I needed. Currently there's another attempt against my vassal. Not entirely sure if he'll survive. He's survived so far, but now there's quite a lot coming at him, so I'm not sure he will hold on. At the same time, not only the Americans are going for Echigo, but we've got a traditional force here from the Koga moving in again. This time around, the Koga is not attacking during winter, so they've got that going for them. This troop could actually be part of this fight, or maybe just to kind of lure the Americans out. Or what I could do is I could bring the troops that are not part of that and join this fight right here. Unfortunately though, I think we've done plenty enough in this episode. So I think what we'll do is we'll end it here, and then we'll start off fresh in the next episode with the ambush. Now, it'll be interesting to see here, because there's a lot of American troops. A lot more than I have. Now, we have the fact that we'll be ambushed them as our advantage, but will that be enough? Also, as American and now possibly French Navy will join in, we probably need to bolster our own Navy. There's a lot of problems moving quite fast, and I was hoping I'd said we'd move this campaign along pretty fast, but since this is legendary, we've ended up in this kind of stalemate position, so we're not able to advance the way that I want. However, as soon as the Americans are gone, once these American forces are gone, I should be able to relocate my armies and go on the offensive. So after the next episode, we should be able to start claiming territories again, and it will be against the Northern Alliance, I'm thinking. Or, I also have the idea, because the enemy, seemingly, since we can see here, get ton of money bonus, so they can build up everything really quickly. I'm thinking, we don't need to capture everything. Like, it could be that we just go in and loot an area to get that sweet, sweet cash. We'll get like 20 to 30,000 or something like that for a really good area that we can loot. And then I can turn that into soldiers, bolster defenses, capture more territory, and then, you know, we leave the area to rebel, as it surely will after we looted it, and come what will out of that. But with that said, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.
Bayonet!